Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today we're going to see if we can beat the game Pokemon FireRed with a single Banette. Banette is a second stage ghost Pokemon with a surprisingly spooky solid physical attack. The special attack isn't bad by any means, and then when you look at the other stats, they're okay, but they're certainly not the best. From a moves perspective, we don't learn too much by level up, but enough to give us a solid no-miss move. From a TM list, we learned enough to give us some pretty decent coverage, but I do think that the first half of the game is going to be a little bit rough, just given how limited our moveset actually is. For this run, we'll go ahead and give the rival Charmander, because honestly, it does not really matter. None of them have anything that would necessarily be super effective against us. We can learn Thunderbolt for both the Blastoise and Charizard at the end, and Psychic for the Venusaur if needed. We name our Banette 11. We definitely forgot to nickname our Pokemon last week, so we're going to do an extra run because who needs math in their life? We have a relaxed nature, which means increased defense but lowers our speed. Not the worst thing in the world since we have the Quick Claw. We have the Insomnia ability, meaning we can't get put to sleep. There isn't a lot that I think that we're going to be able to do with that, but it's a lot better than the Frisk ability because that's not going to really do much of anything. I already know that berries are active for the ace as we get into the back half of the game. For the starting rival fight, we start with Knockoff as it uses Growl, and that's honestly it can do to us. We can take our time with this battle because it, again, can't do anything, and that's that. Now, the first part of the game, that's going to be actually really easy for us overall. We can't be touched by normal type moves, and Knockoff will be a slow process, but if needed, since we can't be hit, we can always use Curse to kind of speed things up. And against that optional rival fight, that is exactly what we do. We use Curse against Pidgey, and then just sit back and let it work its magic. It does go down after a while, and then after that it's out to Charmander, and with the Pidgey fainting, that actually gets us 2 level ups, and because of that, we gain enough HP back to be able to use Curse again. So with the Charmander, we Curse and just wait for it to knock itself out. Do a Knockoff, Nightshade when we can. It's a pretty simple battle overall. It's not often that we can go ahead and get to the rival fight at such a low level. Usually that's just saved for legendaries, but having an immunity to normal type moves is definitely making things a lot easier than usual. So with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and make our way to Pewter City, and only 1/3 of the Pokemon are actually able to damage us. Caterpie, Metapod, and Kakuna can't touch us, so the only thing that we have to worry about is the damage and status conditions that come from Poison Sting, but even that does not take too long, and all too soon it's time to fight Brock and see how we do. Geodude is the first Pokemon, and we open with Nightshade, taking it to almost half as it uses Defense Curl. Another Nightshade takes it to red, and it continues to curl up, and then we can take it down. After that, it's out to Onix, and we get hit with Rock Tomb, and Nightshade is doing decent damage. We get taken almost half as we take it into the yellow. One more Rock Tomb connects, and then we can take it down to win us a pretty easy first gym badge. You know what else is also easy? Clicking that like, hype, and subscribe button. As always, you've heard it a million times by now. We're working on watch hours, subscriber count, and I wanted to also go ahead and expand the Discord community a little bit. I kind of feel like while trying to pursue after the raw numbers, I kind of lost sight of wanting to build that community, which is why I started doing this in the first place. Since we do have the time to talk, we actually have been pretty consistently posting to social media again. I'll be sure to go ahead, just in case you don't follow me on Twitch, include that link. Instagram, Blue Sky, and even my Facebook gaming page link in the description if you want to follow me there, but honestly, it's more of trying to attract people to this page and my Twitch rather than actually growing on those sites. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't know enough about making money on those platforms. I also don't really know, I know the algorithm changes, but I don't know enough about it to be able to put that much energy into it because I still have a full-time job and I'm still mostly trying to keep up with this. But either way, if you do want to follow me on other socials, thank you. Likes, shares, comments over there always has a chance to hopefully bring people here. In the past month, I've actually been seeing a bit more growth to this channel, and as of writing this, I'm only 6 away from hitting 1,200. I gotta keep up with Late Night Candy. She's been crushing it with her Dark Souls content, so if you like Dark Souls, it's her first time playing it, and Candy, if you're listening, hey girl. But we do have a challenge we have to talk about more, so as always, we take the Dome Fossil because that is the only one that matters, and then we skedaddle our way into Cerulean City. Now that we're into Cerulean City, we have two options that are available to us. The first one is fighting the rival, who, well, that could go either way. Only having knockoff for the Pidgeotto will make this a bit difficult. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and fight Misty, just to kind of see how things go. Misty starts with Staryu, and Water Pulse immediately crits us to below half as we take it to yellow. Another Water Pulse takes us to 13 HP, and then we just smack ourselves, and yeah, we knock ourselves out with that. That was kind of horrible, but as you can tell by the next attempt that is probably already playing on the screen, things do not get too much better for us. So what we're going to go ahead and do is head to the left where the tall grass is, finish our level up there, get the rare candy behind the dude's house, and then I'll go fight the rival. If things go horribly against him and we find ourselves into that brick wall, we'll go ahead and gain some more levels, but anytime that I can avoid that, I'm gonna choose to go ahead and just grind out a quick little bit of EXP, and Banette seems to be leveling up pretty quickly. I never actually check which experience group they're a part of, though, so that's kind of on me. The rival first starts with Pidgeotto, and we curse while it throws sand in our eyes. We then take it down with a couple knockoffs as Curse does its thing. Abra can't do anything, so it goes down quickly. Charmander goes to around half and hits us with Ember before going down, leaving us with only 9 HP. At this level, I'm pretty sure that Rattata only has Tail Whip and Quick Attack. Maybe Tackle, I don't know, but we are able to take it down, winning us a pretty narrow battle. This is definitely the second or third attempt, because we got burnt on one of those attempts, but that's okay. After that, we'll go ahead and head to the route to the north, grabbing a few more levels along the way. After that's done and out of the way, we'll go ahead, fight Misty, see how things go. Staryu goes down to 2 Nightshades, and then when Starmie comes out, it hits us for decent damage with Water Pulse. We take it to almost half as Water Pulse takes us to 36 HP, and we swap to Knockoff just to kind of see how we do with damage, but we actually land a critical hit and knock it out. This did take about 5 attempts due to confusion luck and also just critical hits hitting me but never the opponent, but the badge is done and out of the way. We'll go ahead, get on the ship, and then just given the fact that we have done some struggling through this first portion of the game, we'll go ahead and clear out the trainers while also getting the items that we need. Just more of an in-case thing. At this point, given what our moveset is, his team can actually be a little bit scary. If for some reason we can't win, there are more trainers that are an option outside the ship, but our options are kind of becoming limited. Let's see if we can do this. Pidgeotto's up first, and we open with Knockoff, taking about a quarter health. Sand Attack connects before we land our next attack. Gust isn't doing much, then we take it down a few turns later. Next out is Kadabra, and we miss as Confusion hits, then we land a crit to take it down in one shot. Charmeleon is up, and we swap over to Nightshade, taking it below half as Smokescreen connects. We miss the next 4 turns, getting whittled all the way down to 23 HP before it goes down. After that, Raticate is his last Pokemon, and once again, I think it only has normal types moves, so just like before, it does take a little bit of time, but we take it down, winning the battle. Alright, so with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and go to Surge's gym, and this is where we're probably going to have the hardest part of the challenge run, and that is getting past this dang trash can puzzle. I think after we get past here, things will get a lot easier for us for a little while, since we can't update our moveset, and if for some reason we can't get past Surge, which I don't think is ever going to happen, we'll have some options on what we can go ahead and do from here, so let's just see how we do. Voltorb is up first, and we take it to yellow as it misses Screech, and then it goes down after that. Pikachu is next, and we use Nightshade, taking it to red as it uses Thunder Wave and Surge heals up. We take it to almost half as it uses Double Team, and then we can take it down with a Nightshade. Last up is Raichu, and it begins to set up Double Team as we miss, and Shockwave does some good damage. We miss 2 more times before taking it to yellow. Then we get taken to 20 HP as we miss some more, but we do manage to land 1 more Nightshade, taking it down and winning the battle. Alright, so now we can go ahead and make our way on to the next leg of the game, and it's at this time I realize I usually pull up a small map of the cave just to kind of make sure that I don't take a wrong turn. Great movie. I didn't this time, and made it through no problem, so I'm probably going to end up deleting that off my desktop here soon. I think by now, muscle memory just kind of kicked in. I was even playing another video game with a friend while doing this. Now the good news is we're getting close to getting some move upgrades, but for a while, I think we're gonna definitely keep Shockwave. Because frankly, we need the type coverage, and 2, we can't miss it. So, that's always good. Normal types are still going to be a problem with only having knockoff, which isn't exactly powerful. So, this move will at least go ahead and solve that problem while also taking care of the Pidgeotto and later on the Pidgeot. For now, we'll grab Psychic, then head off to Erica. Even with our lower special, I don't think this will be too much of a problem, but then again, I have also been wrong before. Erica first sends out Victory Bell, and we open with Psychic, taking it down in one turn. After that, it's out to Tangela, and we can take it down as well. Finally, you have Vileplume, and Psychic takes it down as well, winning us a pretty simple battle. Let's go ahead and go fight some crime. Giovanni first sends out Onix, and we open with Psychic. Next out is Kangaskhan, and we use another Psychic, taking it to not quite half. Bite can do some solid damage, and we swap over to Shockwave, taking it into the yellow, as another Bite connects before we take it to a Sliver, and then it goes down. Last up you have Rhyhorn, and Psychic takes it down to win us the battle, and that's the end of that. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is go fight the rival in the tower, and then once we get through that, we'll have a bit more travel ahead, and we'll go ahead, do our mid-game review that we usually do for these runs, just to kind of talk about how the Pokemon is doing, if it's meeting or exceeding expectations, the usual. The rival first starts off with Pidgeotto, and we open with Shockwave, taking it down in one shot. Gyarados is next, and our Shockwave is 4 times effective against it, so it goes down without too much of a fight. Execute is next, and we swap over to Feint Attack, hitting it with a crit that I'm not sure mattered, but it goes down. Kadabra's out, and another Feint Attack is enough to do the job, even without the crit, I'm guessing. And then finally, it's out to Charmeleon, and we swap to Psychic, taking it down to win us the battle. Alright, so now that we're officially halfway through the run, we can go ahead and talk a little bit about how Banette is doing, and honestly, it's doing pretty well. There were definitely some struggles early on due to the normal typing that's just scattered throughout the game, but after getting Shockwave, things got a lot easier. For the most part, as we get into the later half of the game, I don't think that we'll have too many problems. There isn't anyone that will be able to do super effective damage to us, and on the flip side, well, Agatha can. But on the flip side of that, we're probably going to be able to at least find some moves that even if they don't do super effective damage, they'll at least be pretty powerful moves, like Psychic. Now that we have the type coverage, we should be able to do super effective damage to Koga, Giovanni, and Sabrina. Speaking of Koga, let's go ahead and see how that fight goes. Koga starts with Coughing, and we open with Psychic, getting a critical hit that I do not think mattered. We definitely aren't going to pass up on Shadow Ball, finally getting rid of Nightshade, which kind of falls off around this time, so that's perfect. Next out is Muck, and we use Psychic to take it into the yellow as Sludge hits, but no poison, so we are able to take it down. Coughing is next, and it goes down to one shot, so I'm guessing the first crit was not needed. Finally, you have Wheezing, and we take it to red as Sludge Connect. Koga potions up, and we use Shadow Ball to deal a bit of damage, but not sending it into healing range, which works, and then we take it down to win the battle. Now, we have Silphco, and we're going to go ahead and go around and get a few things that we need. The key card and access to the bed. There's a couple vitamins that are not too far off the beaten path that we grab. But if we can't beat the rival, that's when we'll go ahead and go through, find all the trainers and all of the vitamins. Pidgeotta's up first, and we use Shockwave, taking it to yellow as Wing Attack connects for some pretty solid damage, and then we take it down. After that, Gyarados comes out, and we take it down with one Shockwave due to that weakness. Next out is Charizard, and it uses Smokescreen as we miss. Flamethrower then takes us to 36 HP as we test Shockwave damage, and then we get taken down. I think we can do this at this level, so let me try that just a few more times. The beginning of the battle always goes the same, except this time, Wing Attack doesn't get a crit, which leaves us with a little bit more HP when Charizard comes out. Since we know that it's going to use Smokescreen, we just use Shockwave, but we actually get a crit of ourselves, so it just goes down. Execute is next, so we swap over to Shadow Ball, taking it down in one go. Alakazam is next, and it does outspeed using Calm Mind, but we just one-shot it with Shadow Ball, winning the battle. That went better than I would have originally thought. Let's go ahead. We'll finish off Sylph by fighting Giovanni. Nidorino's up first, and we use Psychic, taking it down in one shot. Rhyhorn is next, and we continue with Psychic, taking it to red as Scary Face connects, then we take it down. Next out is Nidoqueen, and Poison Sting does a little bit of damage, and we blast it with Psychic, taking it to yellow. A Tail Whip connects, and we take it down. Then, finally, it's out to Kangaskhan, and he uses Tail Whip as we take it to almost half. Then take it to low yellow, and then knock it out. Alright, let's go ahead, go fight Sabrina, who I think is probably going to be pretty easy for us. If not, for some unholy reason, I'm not sure, we could at least go ahead and fight Blaine. Sabrina starts off with Kadabra, and we use Shadow Ball, taking it down in one go. Mr. Mime is next, and we continue with Shadow Ball, taking it down as well. Then you have Venomoth, and we swap over to Psychic, and you guessed it, it's a one-shot. Then, Alakazam is out, and it uses Calm Mind. We hit it with Shadow Ball, and that's a one-shot. That's one more badge down. So we have 2 more badges to go, and honestly, this is going pretty well. Let's go ahead and fight Blaine, see if we can continue this sweep. Growlithe is first, and we use Shadow Ball, taking it down, and then Arcanine comes out, and we get a critical hit on our next Shadow Ball, downing it in one shot, which was needed. This was definitely not our first attempt. Ponyta's next, and we take it to red, then Blaine heals up. We take it back to red, another heal up, but we lower its special, but it doesn't matter because it was so low we were going to take it down anyway. Then, Rapidash is his last Pokemon, and we use Shadow Ball to take it to yellow. It misses Fire Blast, and then we take it down. Like I said, this did take a few attempts because of the Arcanine, but I didn't have to level, so I'm pretty happy about that. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and finish off the last of the gym leaders, and then after finishing the gym leader fight, we'll go ahead and fight the rival for the last time before the Elite Four, and then we can do a little bit of theory crafting on who we think the hardest Elite Four member is going to be. I hope it's not Lorelei. Rhyhorn is his first Pokemon, and we use Shadow Ball, taking it to yellow as it misses Scary Face, then we take it down. Next up is Dugtrio, and it hits us for solid damage with Earthquake as we fire back with Psychic to knock it out. Nidoqueen is next, and we continue with Psychic, taking it down. Nidoking is his next Pokemon, and we take it down with one Psychic as well. Finally, Rhyhorn goes to a Sliver, uses Scary Face. Giovanni heals. We get a high roll on the damage this time, taking it down to win us the final badge. Alright, I gotta admit, just looking at the levels, they're starting to catch up to us pretty quickly, and I am not 100% sure if we're going to be able to beat the rival without a level up, to be honest, but we'll go ahead and give it a shot, see what happens. The rival first starts off with Pidgeot, and we open with Shockwave as Wing Attack hits us for decent damage, and we take it to yellow. Next turn, it hits us again before we take it down. Not the best start. Next out is Charizard, and Flamethrower takes us to 17 HP as we use Shadow Ball for decent damage, but then go down. Let me equip the Quick Claw and then try again, because this might be doable. Pidgeot, that's almost always going to be the same, except we get an immediate crit, so we already have way more HP when Charizard comes in. We use Shadow Ball on Charizard, and for some reason it uses Scary Face. Then we get a Quick Claw activation and take it down before it even gets the chance to attack us. Rhyhorn comes out, and we one-shot it with Psychic. The Scrambled Eggs are next, and we take it down. Then Alakazam is next, and we Shadow Ball it for a quick one-shot. Then you have Gyarados, and it uses Rain Dance, but a Shockwave makes this an easy one-shot, and I don't think that crit was needed, and that wins us the battle. Now that we're on the way to the Elite Four, we can talk about how we think the Elite Four is going to go, and try to theory craft for it at least a little bit. I'm definitely going to be getting the move upgrades with Thunderbolt, because Shockwave is good, do not get me wrong, but at this point, I think I'm just going to have to sacrifice the guaranteed accuracy for raw power. We still have Feint Attack, which can't miss, so we're not completely shooting ourselves in the leg here. I think overall Lorelei won't be too difficult for us given the fact that we do have that Thunderbolt, but as I'm writing this, I also continue to remember that our special isn't nearly as good as our physical moves, so this could be a toss-up. Bruno shouldn't be too difficult, but I do think that he has the ability to use Foresight, so he may be able to do some damage to us once or twice. And then you have Agatha, and honestly, it depends. If we can outspeed in one shot, we should be fine, but I could see that taking a while, mostly because the Gengars are going to be an absolute pain. And then Lance, truthfully, I have no idea. I do not know how well we're going to stand up to an outraging Dragonite. And for the final rival, I just need him to miss Fire Blast, and then I'm good to go, I think. Along the way, we do go ahead, level up a little bit, and we'll just see what happens. Lorelei first sends out Dugong, and we open with Thunderbolt, taking it to yellow as it uses Safeguard, and then it goes down. Lapras comes out next, and we continue with Thunderbolt, taking it to not quite half as Ice Beam connects, doing decent damage. We use a Feint Attack next turn as the berry heals it, and it takes us to low HP with Ice Beam. Unfortunately, we do not get the high roll and the damage that I was hoping for, so we go down next turn. We do try this a few times, but ultimately we're just not getting anywhere with these attempts, so we do end up taking a few levels. The problem is that even if we do make it past the Lapras, at that point, the Slowbro is actually a little bit of an issue, because it'll either use Amnesia, or it'll just straight up attack, and because our HP is so low, we can't finish it off in one shot, so it just one-shots us. After the levels, Dugong now goes to yellow with Thunderbolt and hits with Surf before going down. Lapras is next, and we take it to just about half with Thunderbolt as it uses Confuse Ray. We do use Feint Attack and get taken to 23 HP before we take it down. Cloyster is definitely going to be a one-shot because, obviously. Slowbro's next, and we swap over to Shadow Ball, and we do take it down in one go, and then repeat the process with Jinx, finally winning us the battle. Bruno first starts off with Onyx, and it hits us with Rock Tomb as we take it below half. Since Rock Tomb did lower our speed, it actually hits us again with another Rock Tomb and lowers our speed again before going down. Then with Hitmonchan, we get hit with yet another Rock Tomb and we take it to red. However, due to the Quick Claw activation, we can take it down. When Machamp comes out, it uses Bulk Up and we take it below half. It bulks up again for some reason and we take it down. Then, finally, you have Hitmonlee and it uses Foresight. And remember when I was worried about that? Because I do. We take it to yellow, and then Mega Kick takes us to 1 HP, so with 1 HP in a dream, we take it down. As Dean Winchester would say, and I apologize if the volume is loud on this clip.
That was scary!
Sorry, I'm rewatching Supernatural, so there are certain scenes that just kind of live rent-free in my brain, especially while I watch it. Speaking of Supernatural, let's face Agatha. You know, because she uses Ghost, and they're super. Anyway, Agatha starts off with Gengar, and we use Feint Attack, and we take it to yellow. It hits a Shadow Punch, then goes down. The next Gengar that gets sent out, we actually get a crit on it with Feint Attack, and that just one-shots it. Golbat does confuse us, and we Thunderbolt to one-shot it. We do smack ourselves and get hit with Iron Tail against the Arbok, but that goes down pretty easily. And then as Haunter comes out, we one-shot it to win the battle. Time to see how things go with Lance, and honestly, I'm gonna guess not great. Lance first sends out Gyarados, and we open with Thunderbolt, taking it down in one shot. Aerodactyl's next, and we get hit with Ancient Power for solid damage as we take it down to yellow. Lance heals up, and we take it back to yellow. It uses another Ancient Power, getting the boost, but goes down. Then Dragonite comes out, and we test Shadow Ball damage, but then Outrage takes us down pretty quickly. Once again, we're trying this battle a lot, and ultimately it's just not going anywhere. We could usually get to the Dragonite without too much of an issue, though if Aerodactyl gets an Ancient Power boost, that could take us down pretty quickly. So, we level up. At level 75, the Gyarados is a one-shot, which I'm sure wasn't much of a surprise. Aerodactyl comes out, and we use Thunderbolt, taking it down with one shot now. Dragonite uses Safeguard, we take it to yellow, then red, but it locks itself into Outrage, so we take it down. Dragonair is next, and we take it to red as Outrage connects, and then we take it down. His last Dragonair is out. We Shadow Ball it to take it to red and get paralyzed. Lance heals. We take it to red. Lance heals again. We take it back to red. Then it just opts to attack with Outrage. Outrage does solid damage, but Banette hangs on and takes it out. One more fight to go. Pidgeot is first, and we can one-shot it with Thunderbolt and do the same thing to Gyarados. As Charizard comes out, it actually misses the first Fire Blast, and we take it below half. We do get hit with the second one, but we do manage to take it down that turn. Alakazam only sets up Reflect as Shadow Ball takes it down in one shot. Executor goes below half and tries to put us to sleep, but Insomnia actually kicks in the 11th hour and keeps us awake, and we take it down. Rhydon is last. If we take it to yellow with Psychic, and Earthquake takes us down to 14 HP. But we take it down to win the battle and the run. Alright everyone, I hope that you enjoyed that run, because this is the first time that I've used a Banette. I've used Shuppet in a Nuzlocke, and it most certainly did not make it to be a Banette that time around. Like I said before, I'm always working on the networking stuff, posting everywhere the usual. There's not really a whole lot that I need to cover at this point, except that I just got the weird idea in my head to try to use moves that pair well with Serene Grace, like Togepi getting Ancient Power, and just see if I can run the game with something like that. Not 100% sure. This Friday, I have to be at work at 4 a.m. to make 500 pizzas, so that's going to be fun. So what we're going to go ahead and do for now is cut this kind of short. As always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out!